Marshall in the middle.
There you go, Ryan Vanschoonhoven. I love you, man. Look at you. Can you turn your screen sideways for me? Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
I'm on my phone
Man,
here.
I
So.
miss that face. Dude. Yeah, that's cool, man. I miss that face, dude. It's been forever.
Been a while, man. How you been?
Man, I couldn't be no better. Especially talking to you. You're in Tennessee now, ain't you?
I am. Yep. Spring Hill, Tennessee, just south of
Dude,
Nashville.
isn't Spring Hill like the home of all the nuclear stuff, or is that someplace else?
No, it's that's where the GM plant is.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. How old are you now, man?
44.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude. Remember our times together, man? So many, years ago. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, I've listened to this series that you and Vince have been putting together. Talking to Smith, Heather Smith, and all these guys. It brought back a lot of memories. It's like, man.
It's almost like we were different people back then. Our lives has changed so much, but we haven't changed, right? You're still the same Van, dude. Dude, how many hours did we spend together, right?
Countless.
I know, right? Yeah. So, find some place to sit that phone down and prop it up or something, even if you have to turn it sideways. And however it needs to be, and let's sit down and tell a few stories, and reminisce for a while. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. The only issue I got there is the way the light and the fan is, but that's what we're making is a video for your kids and your grandkids, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just trying to find a place to hide away. My wife's in the living room. She said, "You better not put me on camera."
Oh yeah. We don't want to do that. We don't need to do that. Yeah. But I'd love to make sure you were comfortable and we could tell a story or two about the old days. Where are you from, man?
South Dakota.
Oh shit, I didn't know anybody was from South Dakota. I forgot that.
Big old South Dakota, yeah.
Yeah. So what year were you born?
77.
Dude, that's the best of times, right? Way back when. That's when the street lights and bicycles and neighborhoods. Did you grow up in the country or in the city or?
There's no cities in South Dakota, but
I mean, I guess you could grow up in a neighborhood, or you could grow up on a farm, or where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a 2-bedroom trailer house for most of my entire life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Me and my mom, my brother, and my sister. Yeah.
So your mom was a single mom raising you folks, raising you guys?
She was. Yep, she was.
So so you said you had a brother and a sister?
I do, yeah. Full brother and a half sister. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And y'all were all crammed into a trailer for your life?
A trailer house, yep. For most of it down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I lived in a trailer, for the past couple years now. I know how tight it is, and it is tight. It is tight, especially as a kid, right? You want space and to roam and grow. Were y'all live in like a trailer park, or were you off on your own, or what?
Yeah, we did. We lived about 4 miles outside of town. So there's about 8 or 9 trailers on the lot. So you got to know the kids, the neighbor kids, and that's who you grew up with. So that's that's who you got your chicken pox from. That's where you learned everything.
Yeah. You fell off the slide together. All the stuff. Cool.
Yep.
Killed your first chicken together you found or whatever.
Tipping cows and shooting coyotes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. So tell me about your earliest memories. What do you remember as a young kid? Do you I always
Man.
wonder what people remember.
We played a lot of baseball when I was a kid. I mean, I guess that's my biggest memory as a kid, earliest memories. I mean, I played baseball from the time I could walk till probably till I went in the Army.
Oh, really? Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
play on the softball team with us in the Army when we
I
were?
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you did. I thought you did.
but
Those were good times.
I think at that point I was probably a little bit out of practice.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. So, were you good in school? Did you have lots of friends? Tell me about those young years.
Oh man, I was good in school until I hit about high school. Sophomore grade, and then other things took a little more interest in me than school did. But yeah, I ended up going to alternative school, got my diploma, and then went in the Army. So
Oh, so you had some troubles in high school. What'd you get in trouble about, if I can
oh,
ask?
oh, you know, just drinking and and other things. Kids that
Oh,
teenagers were,
okay.
just stuff that was more interesting to me than school.
Okay, cool. So you were kind of a rabble rouser and
Yeah,
out on the edge.
partying, hanging out with friends, and all that stuff. And yeah, got to get you in a little bit of trouble, and then alternative school bailed me out though. So
Allowed you to redeem yourself, and then so you joined the Army right out of high school.
when I turned 19, after I got a little bit of trouble before I went in the Army, and then had to do some community service before I was able to go in. It was part of the deal for me going in the Army. Small town, got in some trouble. Army recruiter came and spoke for me. Said, "Hey, you signed up for the Army on a delayed entry program." The judge said, "That's cool. We'll put you on a community service program for a year, and then we'll let you go in the Army at 19." So
Yay! Well, that's redemption, right? That's the chance we all beg for. It's like a troubled kid doesn't know what's happening. Go to the Army, go to jail. Dude. That's the American dream, right? Because in the Army, you excelled. You were good. I'm sure you had problems and issues, but I mean, you were one of my best studs. I relied on you I relied on you hard, right?
yeah, we had some time, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
the Army definitely saved my life. That's for sure.
oh my gosh. So what were you in trouble for?
Oh, medicinal drugs.
Oh, oh. Hey, it's crazy how stuff will get you, man, and all of a sudden you get a supply of something and whatever. All right. So tell me about Private Vanschoonhoven. One, nobody could say your name, right? So
No,
what was
yeah.
your nicknames? What kind of nicknames did you have?
Anything from Van to Alphabet to Van, anything Van with anything after that. And oh, I remember base train at IT definitely was Alphabet or Van Scubenhaber or Van Skibbity Dooba, or I had a million different names. I remember my first duty station coming out as a private E2, E3, I can't remember, but going to Germany was my first duty station. And I saw you were talking to Heather Smith the other day. She was my first squad leader in Germany. She was just an E5, I think. Yeah, she was an E5 at that point. And there was me and this other
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
Yeah, there was me and this other dude from South Dakota. His name was Tracy Kretschmer. We were both from South Dakota, and we were both in her squad.
So I'm looking at a product of Command Sergeant Major Heather Smith. You were her first private. That is so cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I was her.
Well,
her
no,
first one.
no, she was your first squad leader. Let's
Very,
put
very
it that
first.
way.
Yeah.
She was your first squad leader. Yeah. So she set the standard, and she did a good job, man. She did a good job. So, tell me about Private Van. Were you good? Were you a good private?
I tried to be. Yeah, I did. I tried to be. It was just a lot of nerves. I remember when I very first got to Germany, and they were doing a change of command ceremony. It's kind of a funny story. And then I think I had just went to get my TA-50. They were doing a change of command ceremony or change of responsibility ceremony. I can't remember what it was. I remember going out to formation, standing there. Everything was pressed and shined and ready to go, and my Kevlar was on backwards. And I was so nervous. I remember that because after somebody had corrected me about my Kevlar, this lieutenant came by and I jumped out of formation and saluted the guy with my left hand. That was all my very first. I'm pretty sure Heather remembers all that too, because I'm pretty sure she caught hell for that.
Oh, that's great, man. That is great. And, isn't it wild when you're brand new, you do the crazy stuff? Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh,
I'm pretty sure that was probably one of my very, very first formations out of AIT was that big change of command ceremony. And I was nervous.
Oh, wow. So, were you like good in basic and AIT and all that stuff? Did you do good with all that stuff, or did you find transition hard?
No, I did well. Seems like I remember basic training. It was they was kind of, we always have those troubled kids coming through basic, and they always seem to, they partner you up as battle buddies. And for some reason, they always end up sticking me with a guy that just couldn't get it. I think I went through 3 different guys going through basic training, and all 3 of them ended up getting kicked out for one reason or another.
Oh, wow.
And then, I don't remember my fourth one. The fourth one I ended up with, we got all the way through basic training, got sitting there getting ready to go on the bus to Fort Bliss for AIT, and he wouldn't get on the bus. Was crying, did not want to get on the bus, but he did not want to leave basic training. No idea why, but yeah, that was a fun time going through that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, AIT as a 14 Echo up on the hill for 10.5 months. And I think at that time they were transitioning down to the base. They were coming off the hill and going down to the base right towards the end of my AIT. But yeah, it was fun. It was interesting.
So what did you think about the Echo part of it, the high-tech video game that you're playing in the van? I mean, that's pretty cool stuff, right?
It's a lot of pressure on 14 Echoes in the military. All the table 4s, the table 8s, the table 12s, all the studying, the hours and hours and hours of studying TSOPs and all that other stuff that we had to study. And on top of that, being proficient on the maintenance side as well. Definitely very much a lot of pressure on 14 Echoes. Is either the technical side in the van or the or the maintenance part with the circuit cards and the oscilloscopes and the freak counters and all that stuff on the radar side of it. So it was, and not only were maintenance for the radar, but you're maintenance for the generators, you're maintenance for everything. You know what I mean? So it definitely taught you to multitask and be proficient at your job because you had no choice. It teaches you life skills for sure. They're transitionable once you get out of the military. So.
Oh yeah. I have said before, and I'll say it again, I think that the 14 Echo MOS, when I was a part of it, was the most comprehensively difficult, hard, challenging MOS that I could ever think of in the military. You had so much stuff responsible for and so difficult a job in that van, literally making no shoot decisions. I mean, you had to go do PT, you had to do all the other soldier things that go along with it. And I tell you what, you guys, you and your platoon, dude, y'all did me good. Y'all did us good, right? We were the champions, man, right?
We were.
Yeah, dude. Tell me about, did you certify in the van as an Echo, as like a private or a specialist? When did you first, get certified in the van and run those air battles and stuff?
It was not till later. For the most of my first part of my career was always maintenance. So I was always system maintenance. Me and the chief. It was us. We were going around fixing stuff all the time. It was later on. It was probably E5, E6 by the time I even got to even get a chance to go in there to actually certify. And that was and that was me. It was my choice to do it because I just wanted to say that I could do it. Because you don't want to do something. You don't want to ask somebody to do something that you're not able to do.
Yeah. So
So
tell me
yeah,
about becoming a sergeant and stuff.
oh man, I remember it was quick, really really quick for me. I made E7 in 7 years.
Oh wow.
So I got moved through really 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 fast. So once I was promotable for 5, I went to the board, made it. Once I was eligible for promotion for 6, made it. 7 came up, got picked up on my first look. So it progressed really really fast to me until I got to 7, and then it just stopped.
Right.
And so I ended up retiring as an E7. But yeah, the first E1 through E7 went super super fast for me. But it was always it's always I mean, like I was working one level above I was supposed to be working anyways, and so forced progression and forced responsibilities. It makes you grow up fast and makes you learn fast, and so I look back and I appreciate it. But I really moved fast for me.
Oh yeah. Who were your mentors? Who were the folks that you looked up to that challenged you and kept you engaged?
Well, there's a lot. Of course, Heather Smith. She was definitely one of them. I remember a guy, like Sergeant Farrell. I don't know if you remember that guy at all. He Harvey Wilson. He was a tango back in the day. You guys, of course, you and Captain Ruth, and this guy, Sergeant Major Doucette. I don't know if you know who that guy is. Sergeant Major Bacon, Sergeant Major Clem. There's been a lot of people through the years that have just grabbed me up by the scruff and got me straight every once in a while. So Sergeant Smoots, do you remember that guy? Yep. There's been a lot. So
Tell me a time somebody scooped you up and helped you out, or mentored you, or kept you out of trouble, or tell me a good story.
Sergeant Major Bacon. I'm sure you heard a lot of good stories about that guy, right? Me and this guy who was in Germany, this guy, Sergeant Holt, me and him were on flag detail for the post at K-Town, and went down there, did the morning thing, put up the flag, saluted it, went on about our day. Came back down that afternoon to take down the flag for retreat, and the guy in the guard post, he looks at me, calls me over, and says, "Hey man, the flag fell." I'm like, the flag fell. He goes, Sergeant Major saw it. He's gonna come down here, and I was like, oh my god. I was the one that tied it off. Sergeant Holt was my NCO at the time. Evidently, I tied it off wrong, obviously, right? And it fell, and they fixed it and put it back up or whatever. I remember Sergeant Major Bacon come running down in his gas mask and his flak vest for retreat, because that's what he did. And he let us sit there and he let us do the whole retreat ceremony, and I knew what was going on. I don't know if Sergeant Holt knew what was going on or not, but he said, "Private Van," goes, have a good day. And I was walking off, and then all I could hear from the time I was walking from the flagpole to my barracks was Sergeant Major Bacon just teaching him a lesson. But it was good though, because it taught me that instance right there taught me that no matter what, you were responsible for what your soldiers did. Even if it wasn't your fault directly, but you're still going to be responsible for what they did. So from then on, it was, as I was progressing through the ranks, I always thought about that everything that they do is going to reflect on me. So it kind of had a big impact. Just that little incident. It was a big incident at the time, but there's just that little incident stuck through me through forever. So
yeah, great story. Thanks for sharing. Tell me a little bit more about Sergeant Major Bacon. You said he would show up at retreat ceremonies in a flak vest and a protective mask almost every day.
He did. He liked to run with his gas mask and his flak vest on around K-Town. He used to make laps around K-Town in his flak vest and gas mask. I think he's kind of well known for that. I don't know how many people actually seen him doing it, but he was a character. hard-nosed sergeant major, but great guy. Lot of character. I'm sure he had a lot of influence on a lot of people. I didn't have a lot of direct influence with him as a private, but his leadership influence kind of filtered down to everybody in the battalion. So yeah.
Yeah. And so leaders like that, I have they almost become iconic, right? When you say their name, it's like you see a persona, right? You see an aura about them that's just bigger than what they are. It's crazy. Who was that sergeant major that would squeeze your hand? He was huge black guy, right? Roland, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's iconic in the same way, right? Roland would just take your hand and just dare you to squeeze it back just as hard, or else he would just crush your hand. And it was like a challenge to your manhood. And but that's just, I would ask everybody, look, did Roland squeeze your hand like he was about to kill you? And they'd be like, yes, it's crazy. Females, it didn't matter. Captain Ruth come up to me and she goes, is that abuse? Should I report that? I'm like, no.
Oh yeah. I think I remember you asked me about that one time, and I remember it wasn't too long after that he actually shook my hand like that, and I realized what you were saying. I was like, wow, you're right.
Yeah.
He's trying to put your hand off. So
oh yeah, if he gets an opportunity to shake your hand, you're gonna know it. You're gonna remember it. And I hope to ask him about that one day. I really do. Tell me about some of your soldiers, Van. Did you have some stars that you mentored? Benson was one of your guys, right? And we had some stars in our group, Shrum and Crowley, Hernandez. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good guys. But you just named quite a few of them right there. I think I wish I would keep in touch with a lot of those guys, and I just haven't over the years. My wife.
Hey,
Yeah, she's
yeah.
But yeah, there's so many. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a few. Tell me a story, or tell me something about somebody you're particularly proud of, or maybe something you're not particularly proud of. I don't have any idea.
Man. Well, it's hard to single somebody out.
Yeah. Okay. No, there's no problem. What do you remember? Let's see. Do you remember the I Love Bib program?
I heard you guys talking about that on one of the other interviews, and I'm trying to. I remember Bib very, very, very good. I do remember Bib, but I do not remember. I cannot remember the I Love Bib program for some reason.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny.
And I saw you were talking to Kadelka the other day too.
Yeah,
he was a good kid, but he was a good guy. But yeah, Bib, Bib. There's just so many guys. I remember, the hours and hours and hours and hours we spent up, studying or doing whatever there's been hundreds of soldiers throughout the years. It seems like, but to sit there and try to single them out, I never had anybody who was a disappointment. Never had anybody like, there's one guy I had to put in jail one time.
Oh no!
In Korea, yeah, he didn't want to clean his room, didn't want to cut his hair, didn't want to take a shower, didn't want to do anything. It was count statement after count statement after count statement. ARC 15 after ARC 15. So finally, we end up the third ARC 15. I think he ended up going through. He decided he wanted to do jail time instead of take his punishment, and so we ended up putting him in jail for 30 days because he just did not want to clean his room. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. But he went to jail in Korea, Camp Humphreys, for 30 days. So I guess that's probably my biggest disappointment, just because there's just one guy that sticks out that I just could not help,
Oh wow, yeah, totally get it. What tell me about, how your career ended. Did you, do you retire after 20? Did you stay in longer? Tell me what you did.
Stayed in for 20 years and 22 days. So
That's
I
cool.
got, yeah, so I got out August. My last day was August 1st, 2017.
Oh, okay. So 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah, I know. Time flies. It feels like I was just in yesterday.
Oh
Got
yeah.
out,
Wow.
went got my my CDL, started driving truck for probably about 5 or 6 months. Decided that wasn't for me real quick. Went and got my bachelor's degree after that. So I got a bachelor's degree in transportation and supply chain management.
That's
Went to be
awesome.
went to be a supervisor for a third party logistics company for GM for a little bit. And then I went down to Alabama for about a year. I was down in Huntsville for about a year working for Polaris, um, running their operations manager down there at Polaris for their warehouse side of it. And now I'm a facility manager for my own warehouse up here in Nashville. So
All right. So you got your own building and own facility, huh?
I do,
Oh, that's good. Congratulations. Congratulations. What do you enjoy that kind of stuff? I'm sure you'd be good at that.
Yeah, I do. It's fun. And, it comes easy, but it has a lot of challenges with it too. But that's just my career path. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell me about your family. Tell me a little bit more about what's happening, and both in the past and going on now.
um, on marriage number two, the first one was I was going to Germany, first duty station. I've been dating this girl for about 4 or 5 years, and decided, when the army was going to Germany, I said either we gotta get married or we gotta split up. It's gotta happen one way or another. Because I'm going for 3 years. And she said, well, we probably ought to get married. Went to Germany, came back, stuff happened, got divorced. Been with my current wife now for 8 or 9 years now. So she's got 2 kids. One's 21 now, one is 17, and then I got a 13-year-old daughter. So that's my family right now.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations. Congratulations. What you said you got a degree? What'd you get a degree in?
It's transportation and supply chain
Oh,
management. Yeah, it's a business degree with an emphasis in transportation and supply chain management.
that's how do you see automation affecting what you guys are doing right now?
Um, Start throwing a lot of acronyms at you, right? SRP and ERP and WMS and all that type of stuff. It's always evolving. Automation is huge. Everything is ordered online now. E-commerce is a huge industry right now. Pretty much everything is going to e-commerce. Just the wave of the future, I guess. So yeah, automation is everything in my business.
So if you had to go back in the army and do a year over again, what year would it be?
Yeah. 2001. I think yeah, right around the time the towers got hit. I think that was probably the best time, because then that's when everything changed. The whole dynamic changed in the military. All the old Gulf War guys were all the sergeant majors and first sergeants right then. So they had a lot of experience in that type of deal. Then all of us that never been around any of that stuff, or it's when everybody started soaking in all the information. It got for real at that point. So I think the camaraderie changed, the urgency changed, the emphasis in training changed. So I think I'd probably go back to that time, even though it was a scary time. I think I'd probably go back to that time.
Where were you at during that time?
Man, I was in Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
Believe it or not,
wow.
I was in Saudi Arabia. We were doing a lateral transfer of a Patriot radar from Saudi Arabia to Kuwait. Kuwait's radar had went down. So me and 2 other guys, I can't remember who it was. But anyways, we were doing the lateral transfer. We flew into Ramstein, Germany. And of course, in Saudi Arabia, you can't drink or anything. we flew into Ramstein. We were there, supposed to be there for a layover for the night. So we went downtown, get a beer, and sitting there watching the TVs and see the towers getting run into. And we're looking at each other like, man, it's got to be a movie or something, right? And anyways, finished up what we were doing. Took a cab back to Ramstein, would not let us on the base. We're like, what the hell is going on? We all of a sudden realized what was real, what was going on. We're like, man. So we get this hotel in Kaiserslautern, Germany. No, in Ramstein, Germany. I was in Ramstein, Germany. And somehow my NCO, I really wish I could remember his name, somehow figures out how to get a DSN line back to Saudi Arabia from our hotel room in Germany to let our first sergeant, I think it was Farrell at the time, to let him know what was going on, that we were stuck in Germany, couldn't get on post. The radar was there, we were not. I remember, I think it was probably that next day, we ended up getting back on the base. They finally get us in the air to fly us into Kuwait because they had no Patriot radar coverage, so everybody was nervous. End up flying in. I remember they did a combat landing, so they dropped down the back of the back hatch of the plane, and they had the fighter jets on both sides of us, and we were doing a combat landing in the middle of the night at Kuwait International Airport. Of course, you can't fly without gas, so we yanked that joker off the plane, drove it up to some poor Kuwaiti's gas station, hijacked some gas from him so we could drive it up to, I think it was Al Jaber. We brought it to right up there, and then we ended up getting stuck there for about the next 2 weeks in Kuwait, just to get a flight back to Saudi Arabia. So that was a pretty crazy experience.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. Did you ever find yourself in like danger or being shot at or ducking or worried about getting blown up or anything when you were in the military?
There was always that threat. I mean, we knew it. I never had to shoot at anybody, thank God.
Me neither. Thank you. I agree.
There was times, like when we were in Jordan, I think it was, we were in Jordan, setting up triple strand concertina wire in the middle of nowhere on the border of Iraq and Syria, right there in that corner right there. And there was some times that there's an LPOP out there that, the infantry guys were out there on the LPOP with 50 cals, and I remember them buzzing off some people every once in a while. So there was that time, times we had to go out on the berm because they thought they had seen something out there. There's stuff like that. There were some pucker moments, but nothing ever really. I remember, when they were crossing that line to go into Iraq, and they said when they cross that line, they're going to start using chemical warfare. So everybody was ready with their masks and everything, stuff like that. But it was nothing ever really crazy.
Well, what was a vehicle or weapon or situation that you hated the most? Was there anything like I hated Mop 4, right?
Oh yeah, who likes Mop 4? Oh man, I've probably shot about everything in the Army, or at least there. But I don't know. I think probably the worst one. I don't know. I didn't like the 203 too much. I guess that was kind of a boring weapon.
Don't.
Yeah, especially when you got a Mark 19 sitting right next to you, and you can just rattle them off. Yeah, the 203 was kind of just like, yeah.
So what do you think that, looking back on your time in the military, like I've always said that I thought that military was the ticket to the middle class, ticket to a skill. And like you came up as part of the go to the Army, go to jail, kind of thing. And so, looking back on your time in the Army, aren't you so thankful for the, what was provided for you?
1,000,000% am man, I don't know what I would have done without the military. I mean, I didn't have the money for college. I didn't have the skills for work. I didn't have, or any kind of, anything that was sustainable for me to have a life. It was, the Army was definitely my way out of of a probably a pretty questionable life otherwise. Um, but yeah, if it wasn't for the military, I definitely wouldn't be who I am or where I am today. There's no way, no way. You know, the people that I've met.
Tell,
But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, tell me about how your brothers and sisters fared. Did they what did they do?
Yeah, my brother did well. He went in the Navy. Um, he was in there for 10 or 11, maybe even 12 years. He ended up getting married and got out for religious reasons. His wife was a Jehovah's Witness. So he got out and because of that reason. But yeah, he excelled in the military as well. He was on a minesweeper in the Navy for a long time, and now he's an engineer on an oil rig down in Corpus Christi. Sister, not so well. She's still up there up north. She's living in Wyoming now. Hopefully, she can someday get her stuff together, but she's not doing too well. But we all pray for her. So,
Amen. Amen. You know, they say that there isn't such thing as an atheist in a foxhole. Tell me about your faith and spirituality. What kept you going, you know, in the middle of the night when it was dark and you were worried about, you know, your loved ones and family? Was there a particular type of spirituality or faith that you clung on to?
you know, growing up, my grandparents were really church-going people. My mom, not so much. Um, there was more of a family dynamic with my grandparents, more of a family, like typical family structure with my grandparents. And they were very religious coming up. I don't know, we kind of had the mindset as kids, or my grandparents kind of said, instilled in us, you know, about being good people and just being good, and you know, and it'll come back for you. You know what I mean? It wasn't so much about going to church; it was about having church in you. You know what I mean? So there was that kind of got me through a lot of stuff. So yeah, I guess I wasn't really a religious guy, but you know, that's kind of the church that I grew up in. It wasn't that important that you go to church; it was what you believed in, you know, and how you acted and what you did outside of church that really counted. So,
Amen. Amen. Tell me, one of the things that I always thought of, the pinnacle of my career, was part of being in our Table 12 battery together in Korea. Did you Table 12 ever again?
I did not. No, I was part of the evaluation team quite a bit. Did a lot of evaluations. Me and Chief. I remember I was part of the evaluation team in Korea, so we were traveling all over Korea all the time, traveling over Korea, doing table 8s and table 12. So I did a ton of evaluations. But as far as being part of it again, I never had to do that again. Yeah, after I went to the NCO Academy. I taught there for a couple of years, and then once I got out of 6th Brigade, and I got promoted real quick after that. And then after that, it was more that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You spent a lot of time in emo and doing evals and things. Yeah, especially because look, you were definitely proficient at your job, and you were good, fair evaluator for the unit. That's for dang sure.
Chief White. I don't know if you know her. Do you know her?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she was the one. She was a CW4. She was one of the pioneers really in Patriots. She was there from the very beginning, and yeah, she had definitely taught me a lot too. Old Chief White. Well, we spent a lot of time together.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, if you could talk to a younger generation about the legacy that you leave behind and encourage somebody, what kind of things might you say to maybe the future generations that are there with you and your daughters and stuff? You know, what do you think about that? What would you say?
Oh man, hard work isn't a sin. Oh man, it's hard work seems to be a bad word nowadays for kids. Hard work, determination. just being a good person. It seems like everybody nowadays, especially the younger generation, it's hard, especially now that I'm an actual employer and I actually deal with it on a daily basis. The young kids trying to teach work ethic and values and morals, especially the typical stuff, like with the Army teaches you, but that's just basic human decency. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, karma is a very real thing. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't be afraid to work hard. And, don't be afraid to try something different. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody new or eat something different or challenge yourself outside of your norm, because you never know if you're going to be good at it unless you try it. I think that's the biggest fear of a lot of young kids. They don't want to try anything new. They just want to stay inside their little bubble, inside their little norm, and not step out of that side of that circle. And they get stuck in this paradigm of normalness and never excel outside of that. I think that's kind of sad nowadays, but not everybody, but I just see it quite often.
What's your favorite car type? Are you a Chevy guy or a Ford guy?
Definitely a Chevy guy.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what's the future hold for Ryan Vanschoonhoven? What 10 years from now is the picture we're gonna see? Tell me about that.
I'm gonna be a boat down on your river, man.
Okay, yeah, all right. Sounds good. Come on down to the lake with us, buddy.
Yeah, the lake. I saw a picture of your lake down there. I was like, man, that's nice down there. You're right there on the lake too, ain't you?
Yeah, really close, really close. We enjoy where we're at, and it's really enjoyable to do what we're doing. Yeah.
When I was down there in Huntsville,
nice. It's nice.
When I was in Huntsville, I was looking you up to see where your town was at, how far that was from me, and it was only a couple hours. And I was like, man, I should make a trip down there one of these days, but never did make it. I'm only up here. I'm only about 3 hours from you now, so.
Oh, it's about 6 hours. It's pretty good
6
ways,
hours?
actually. Yeah, it's like almost 4 hours from Huntsville.
I thought it was closer than that.
Yeah, it's Alabama's pretty dang big, man. Huntsville's way up north,
Yeah. How'd you and Benson end up getting into this deal?
So do you remember Robert Maggot, First Sergeant Maggot?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So, he and I were good buddies, and he got some kind of a tumor or a condition that he couldn't remember very well. And I was like, man, I got to call and tell some stories before he loses his memory or something. And so I called him up and we recorded it. And I called Sergeant Major, and that just made me to want to tell stories with people. So I called Sergeant Major Adams. I called Craig Evans. I called Bishop Chris Parker. I called several people and started recording stories that I had served with. And it was fun and it was awesome. I did a few videos of it. I called it Marshall in the Middle, Heroes I Know. And then it just kind of fell by the wayside. That was 2016, 2017. And then Sergeant Mason got sick. You remember Sergeant Mason, right, Van?
Yep.
And he had throat cancer and he couldn't talk, and he was in hospice when I found out about it. And I realized that was a guy whose story I could have gotten, but because I was not doing it, I had let it fall by the wayside, that I was disappointed. And so that gave me a big boost, right? And so I called up, I started doing it again, and somehow Benson and I connected, and, Benson and I put together this, this package we got, we got a coin, and a thumb drive. It's got the little titanium thumb drive. It's got the little logo etched on it, and then the box. And so what I'm doing is doing an interview like this with you, and getting as many pictures as I can from the person or off of Facebook. And I'm doing a tribute slideshow. so that, your stories told, your military stories told, and we've got a tribute slideshow such that if tomorrow you end up with cancer and you're dying or whatever, we've at least got a chance to talk about the love that we felt. Dude, you and I, man, we toiled together for hours, for days, right? I mean, you and I were inseparable for like 3 years.
You and that stalker leader challenge, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you remember all that. That was awesome, right?
Man, oh man, that was a tough one, man. I put that right there next to aerosol school, man. It was that tough.
Dude, that wasn't my idea. But we ran with it, right? Didn't we run with it and do a good job of it? And it was awesome.
Aerosol school's fun. Do you make it to aerosol school?
I never went to aerosol school. I never got the opportunity to go. I would love to have gone, but I just never got the slot or anything.
I was 39 years old when I went through that thing. Or 38. I was 38. Yeah. It was me and a sergeant major. We were the two oldest guys there, and we sit there. We kept each other up. I said, "Man, if you can do it, I can do it." That damn, I remember that ruck march I came across. It was like, you got 3 hours to do it. I think I came across with 5 seconds to spare.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was fun being old and doing that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The mental challenges for a 14 Echo were tough.
Yeah.
The physical challenges for everybody was tough. And so you guys had to do both all the mental stuff and the physical stuff.
Yeah, it was fun though, because you always had that little friendly rivalry between the Echoes and the Tangos. It was kind of like a little family. Everybody was family. You know what I mean? But there was always that separation between Tangos and Echoes. There was a little friendly rivalry all the time there. So it made for a fun time. But man, I remember, man, there's so many guys who's here, sit here talking, thinking about all these guys. There were some fun times for sure.
Right? Yeah. Do you remember a particular story? Or we had a guy get beat up really bad when we were in Korea, really, really bad. I don't know if you remember that.
I do, yeah.
One of our cooks. What else did we have go on, man? Me and you driving around in that daggum silver Hyundai XL I had, the silver bullet.
I remember when you started doing the whole picture taking and I don't know if you had just started playing guitar in Korea, or had you been playing for a while? I can't remember.
Not long.
But I remember there was many times we were sitting in your room and you were playing guitar for us and showing us picture slides, and that was, you were the first one that really ever took an interest in any kind of, like, documenting memories and photos and I remember, like those. You did a lot of slideshows, I remember, but there was didn't you do like a book or something at one point, or like a?
Yeah, we have a yearbook. There's a yearbook. We have a yearbook from our year over there that I made. I don't know where it's at, but you probably got one in storage somewhere.
Probably do. I remember, but yeah, I remember you're like the first, probably the only guy I ever knew that ever took the interest in preserving memories like that, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate what you did, because I wasn't a big picture guy, man. Like, I dodged every single picture I could that you were trying to take of me. I promise you that.
Oh, I know. I have very few pictures of you. Very few.
I was pretty diligent about dodging every photo opportunity that I had. I just wasn't a very big picture guy, and I kind of regret it now, being all the places that I've been, seeing all the places. I never took pictures of anything, ever. And I kind of regret that, but people like you kind of preserve the memory for me, so I appreciate it.
Oh man, I'm proud to. One of the things that I looked around so I became a Patriot First Sergeant, and that's totally different than a SHORAD First Sergeant. A SHORAD First Sergeant is it's a different animal, totally different animal. A Patriot First Sergeant, I have no job. I don't even need to yell at people. As a matter of fact, the best thing I should do is shut up. actually, especially if I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And if I yell at anybody, it's like one of three people. It's one of my platoon sergeants. That's the only people I'm authorized to yell at. And so somebody told me early on, the best thing you can do as a Patriot First Sergeant is just watch and observe and be quiet, but be present. And so I was like, well, let me go get a camera and I'll just be the photographer. I'll be the head photographer for the unit. And that's what I did. And that was what I considered my mission to be. And, I feel like I succeeded, and we sure made some memories, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Like I said, people like me just never really thought about preserving any kind of memories or any of that stuff, and just never think about it at the time. You know what I mean? But then looking back, all these slideshows and pictures and people that you're talking to and all these interviews, and man, it brings back a lot of memories, and I appreciate it. I don't know if anybody else ever said that to you, but I appreciate what you did. You know, it just helps preserve the memories. You know what I mean? Because that stuff passes by, you forget about it. It becomes, gets put on that back shelf of your memory bank, and then bring it back up as some of the best times of your life. So I definitely appreciate it.
If we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and this is all some type of a dream that we pass through, I'm very proud that I passed through it with you, and especially those times. I'm serious, Ryan. 3 years, you and I went to places together, learn things about each other that we love one another through, and challenges, hard hills we had to run up, and sometimes easy hills we got to run down. But dude, we were running the whole time, right?
Man, yeah, you're definitely definitely an influence in my life, man, and I appreciate everything that you've done.
Oh, dude, I love you, man. You and Lucero and Parsons and Hernandez, Crowley. Yeah, oh my gosh, Ruth and Pedrosa. And oh my gosh, just all the friggin' names. Kolsky, where's she at?
I was thinking about her the other day too, when you're just going through people that, and I think I have her on Facebook somewhere, but I have no idea what she's doing.
Oh my gosh! If you have her, I could send her to me on Facebook. I want to catch up with, Amasta's out there. Oh my
Amasta's out
gosh!
there, yeah, Amasta, and man.
So I'm interviewing Captain Ruth, I think next week.
Old Jessica.
I can't wait, right? Oh my gosh. She's a national treasure, man. She, like you, she is a national treasure. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to her.
Is she still in the military, or is she out now?
No, she's out. She's out. She's working for a big firm. She's doing just fine. She's doing just fine. Yeah. And she's over in Europe. And I look forward to talking to her. And oh my gosh. So Ryan, we've got this program we put together. It's donations only. We have a website, formerforce.com. We've got, this is serial number 0034. We bought 100 coins when we started, and we just stamped the 100th one, 0100.
Yeah.
I actually are going to have to stamp it and send it out. So we got to buy new coins and stuff. And we've got another 100 people on the list that we haven't interviewed yet. Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got about almost 30 full boxes completely shipped. We've got another 60 interviews taped. Like, I think you're going to be 63 that I have taped. We haven't sent anything else out for. And then I've got 124, I think, on the list that have already signed up. I've got generals, I've got privates, I've got Sunday school teachers, I've got pastors, I've got ambulance drivers. Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. Well, it's skyrocketed, didn't it? That's good. It's
neat. Yeah, I got got law enforcement guys. I've done TikTok stars. Yeah, I got it. I got a YouTube guy. I got it. So I did a guy. You could go check him out. He says that he's going to be he's going to host the Oscars, and we had a great time. An interview that's out. It's out there on YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, please, and like and subscribe and all that kind of cool stuff. It's hard to figure out how to say and do all that, but dude, this has been fun, Ryan.
Is it under Marshall in the Middle, or what's it under?
Yeah. Go to YouTube and go to Marshall in the Middle. Just search Marshall in the Middle on YouTube. We also have a website, marshallinthemiddle.com, and we have a website, formerforce.com. So, and of course we have Marshall in the Middle on Facebook and, all that stuff. So, yeah.
You guys getting snow down there?
No, not down here. No.
Yeah, we had record snowfall. We got 6.5 inches in Nashville today.
Oh, that's great, man.
It don't snow like that up there.
Yeah. It's great to get snow. It's great to get snow every once in a while and shut down.
They shut down everything.
Of course.
But yeah, it's fine, man. That's why I was when you told me 7:00 Central Time, and I was like, when I was driving back, I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Don't know if I'm gonna make it. So as soon as I step back in the house, that's why I messaged you. Like I just got back.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, saying 7 Central seems to mess everybody up, but I just find that I have to stay consistent with my own time zone, or else that's one thing that I get messed up big time. Time zones kill me. I lose my mind. I can't figure it out. It messes me up. So I keep my time Alabama time. That's the only real time is Alabama time.
I think we're on the same time zone now. I just didn't realize it, but we're definitely in the same time zone. So
yeah, we are. Ryan, dude, it's been a blast, a pleasure, man. Thanks so much for spending some time with me, man. I really have enjoyed it. Can I get you to do one thing before we get off of here? Can I get you to maybe call your last unit to attention? I don't know. I don't know if you're a first sergeant or a platoon or whatever you would like to call to attention, and then salute and then sign out. Say like, Sergeant Vanschoonhoven signs out or something. Could you do that?
Sure, I can do that.
Yay.
Man, okay. You still see me?
No, tilt it up a little bit. There we go.
I was like this. How about that?
There we go. Sounds good, man.
Company attention. Sergeant Van. Out.
Oh, I love it. Thanks, man. I sure do appreciate that, dude. That little sound bite there is important. I love your smile, dude. I love you. You're a great American hero, man. You stood beside me shoulder to shoulder for 3 years, man. You are my rock. You were my rock, dude. Totally. I love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
All right, bye.
Marshall in the Middle.